I never imagined I'd be in this situation, pouring my heart out to strangers on the internet. But here I am, Pearl, 32F, married to Sean, 35M, for 8 years, and my world has just crumbled around me. Sean and I met during our sophomore year of college. I was an art history major, passionate about curating, while Sean was studying computer science. We were an unlikely pair, the artistic dreamer and the logical programmer. But somehow we clicked. Our first date was at a small coffee shop near campus. Sean was so nervous he spilled his latte all over his shirt. Instead of being embarrassed, he laughed it off, and I found his genuineness charming. We dated throughout college, supporting each other through late-night study sessions and stressful exams. Sean was there for me when my dad had a heart attack during our junior year. He drove me to the hospital in the middle of the night and held my hand as we waited for news. Thankfully, my dad recovered, but that experience brought Sean and me closer. After graduation, Sean landed a job at a promising tech startup. I was thrilled for him, even though it meant moving to a new city. I had dreams of working in a museum, but job opportunities in our new location were scarce. Still, I was optimistic. I took a job as a receptionist at a local gallery, hoping it would be a stepping stone to my dream career. We got married a year after moving. It was a small ceremony in my parents' backyard, with fairy lights strung up in the trees and our closest friends and family around us. Sean's vows made me cry. He promised to always support my dreams the way I supported his. I thought we were embarking on a beautiful journey together. The first few years of marriage were good. Sean's career was taking off, and I was making connections in the art world. But slowly, things began to change. Sean started working longer hours, often coming home well past midnight. At first, I understood. The startup was growing, and Sean was passionate about his work. But as months turned into years, I started to feel lonely. I tried to talk to Sean about it, but he always brushed it off, saying it was just a busy period and things would calm down soon. They never did. 3 years into our marriage, I got an incredible opportunity. The Museum of Modern Art in New York offered me an assistant curator position. It was my dream job, everything I had worked for. But when I told Sean, his reaction was lukewarm at best. New York? But my company is here. My career is just taking off. We can't move now, he said. I was stunned. What about my career? What about the promises he made? After days of discussion, I made the heartbreaking decision to turn down the job. Sean promised he'd make it up to me, that we'd find a way for me to pursue my dreams locally. But that never happened. Instead, I found myself taking on more and more responsibility at home. I managed our finances, took care of the house, planned our social life. Sean was always too busy with work. I felt like I was losing myself, becoming nothing more than Sean's wife, the woman who kept his life running smoothly while he pursued his ambitions. I tried to rekindle the spark in our marriage. I planned date nights, weekend getaways, even a second honeymoon. But Sean was always distracted, always checking his phone or talking about work. I felt invisible. Last year, on our wedding anniversary, I had planned a special dinner. I spent the day cooking Sean's favorite meals, bought a new dress, even arranged for a string quartet to play in our backyard. But Sean didn't come home until midnight. He had forgotten completely. When I confronted him, he muttered a half-hearted apology and went straight to bed. That's when I started to suspect he might be cheating. The signs were all there: secret phone calls, unexplained expenses, sudden business trips. Once, I found a woman's earring in his car. When I asked about it, he claimed it must have fallen off a colleague during a work carpool. I wanted to believe him, but doubt had taken root. I spent months in agony, torn between my suspicions and my desire to trust my husband. I lost weight, couldn't sleep, and my friends started to worry about me. But I didn't want to voice my fears, didn't want to make them real. 3 months ago, I finally got the proof I didn't want. Sean left his laptop open, and a message popped up from someone named Donna. Curiosity got the better of me, and I clicked on it. What I saw shattered my world. The messages between Sean and Donna, 28F, were clearly not work-related. They were intimate, loving, filled with inside jokes and plans for the future. My husband, the man I had given up everything for, had been having an affair with his co-worker for over a year. I confronted Sean that evening. At first, he tried to deny it, claiming Donna was just a friend. But when I showed him the messages, he broke down. He admitted to the affair and said he'd been unhappy in our marriage for a long time. His words cut deep. "You're boring, Pearl," he said. "You gave up on your dreams. Donna is ambitious, she challenges me. She understands me in a way you never have." I was devastated. All those years of support and sacrifice, and this is how he repaid me? I told Sean to leave, and he did, without much protest. He's been staying with Donna since then. Now, here's where things get complicated. 2 weeks after Sean left, I discovered I was pregnant. We had been trying for a baby for the past year, and it finally happened at the worst possible time. I haven't told Sean yet. I'm not sure if I want to. Part of me wants to keep this baby and raise it on my own. I imagine a little girl or boy with Sean's eyes and my smile, a child I could pour all my love into. But another part of me is terrified of being a single mother. How would I manage? What about my career, which I've neglected for so long? And then there's a small, shameful part of me that wonders if I should use this baby as leverage to get Sean back. Maybe if he knew I was pregnant, he'd realize what he's throwing away. Maybe we could be a family after all. I know that last thought is wrong. Sean has shown me who he really is, a selfish man who discarded our marriage vows without a second thought. But I'm so confused and hurt. I've devoted my entire adult life to this man, and now I'm left with nothing. No career, no husband, and possibly a baby on the way. I'm not sure what to do next. Should I tell Sean about the pregnancy? Should I try to work things out for the sake of the baby? Or should I cut all ties and start over on my own? I feel lost and alone. The dreams I had of building a life with Sean, of balancing our careers and raising a family together, have turned to ash. Now I'm faced with rebuilding my life from scratch at 32, possibly as a single mother. I could really use some advice. How do I move forward from here? How do I reclaim my identity after losing myself in this marriage? And most importantly, what's the right thing to do about this baby? Update 1, it's been 2 months since my last post, and I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. Your words have been a lifeline during this difficult time. After much soul-searching, I decided to tell Sean about the pregnancy. Regardless of our relationship status, I felt he had a right to know. I invited him over to talk, steeling myself for his reaction. When I broke the news, Sean's response caught me off guard. He burst into tears, something I hadn't seen him do since his mother passed away 5 years ago. Between sobs, he confessed that he had made a terrible mistake. He said he missed me terribly and that his relationship with Donna had already fallen apart. I realized she wasn't what I truly wanted, he said. I was chasing some illusion of excitement, but all I really want is you, Pearl. You're my home. He begged for another chance, promising to be a better husband and father. He talked about couples counseling, about cutting back his hours at work, about helping me pursue my career goals. It was everything I had wanted to hear for years. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted. For a moment, I could see it, us reconciling, raising our child together, finally being the partners we had promised to be on our wedding day. But then I remembered all the pain and betrayal. The years of neglect. The cruel words he had said when I confronted him about the affair. And I knew I couldn't just forgive and forget. I told Sean I needed time to think. He respected that and left, but he's been calling and texting constantly since then, asking about the baby and trying to make amends. It's overwhelming, to say the least. In the meantime, I've been focusing on myself. I started seeing a career counselor to explore my options. It's been eye-opening to realize how much of myself I lost in this marriage. I'm rediscovering my passion for art and curating. I've even started volunteering at a local museum, cataloging their new acquisitions. It's not a paid position, but it's reigniting my love for the field and helping me build my resume. I've also been reconnecting with old friends and family. My sister, Lisa, 29F, has been my rock through all of this. She was the one who held me as I cried after discovering Sean's affair, and she's been by my side for every doctor's appointment. She even offered to let me stay with her if I needed a change of scenery. Speaking of doctor's appointments, I'm now 18 weeks along. I had my first ultrasound and everything looks healthy. Hearing the baby's heartbeat for the first time was an indescribable experience. In that moment, all the confusion and pain faded away, and I felt a fierce love for this little life growing inside me. Sean has been asking to accompany me to these appointments, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for that level of involvement from him yet. Part of me worries that if I let him back in, even just for the baby's sake, I might be tempted to forgive him completely. And I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. I'm still undecided about our future. On one hand, I want my child to have both parents in their life. I grew up in a loving two-parent household, and I always imagined providing the same for my children. But on the other hand, I'm not sure I can ever trust Sean again. The thought of him potentially cheating again, especially when we have a child, terrifies me. I've been doing a lot of reading about co-parenting and single motherhood. It's daunting, but also empowering to know that many women have walked this path before me and thrived. I've joined a support group for expectant single mothers, and their stories of resilience give me hope. Financially, things are tight. I'm still living in our marital home, but I know I'll need to find a more affordable place soon. Sean has offered financial support, but I'm wary of becoming dependent on him again. I'm looking into part-time work options that I can balance with my pregnancy and eventual childcare needs. My parents have been supportive, if a bit disappointed in Sean. They've offered to help out however they can, but they live several hours away. My mom has already started knitting baby blankets and booties. Their excitement about becoming grandparents, despite the circumstances, is heartwarming. For now, I'm taking things one day at a time. I'm focusing on my health, my career prospects, and preparing for the baby. I've started a journal, writing letters to my unborn child. It's therapeutic and helps me focus on the future rather than dwelling on the past. I know I have a long road ahead, but I'm determined to make the best decisions for myself and my baby. I'm not rushing into any decisions about Sean. I need to be sure that whatever choice I make is because it's what I truly want, not because I'm afraid of being alone or because I'm clinging to the past. Thank you all again for your support. Your stories and advice have given me strength during this difficult time. I'll update again when I have more news. Update 2. It's been 4 months since my last update, and my life has taken some unexpected turns. I'm now 34 weeks pregnant, and a lot has changed. First, the biggest news, Sean and I are officially divorced. After much soul-searching and several conversations with Sean, I realized that I couldn't move past his betrayal. The trust was irreparably broken, and I knew I deserved better. The decision wasn't easy. There were moments when I was tempted to give our marriage another chance, especially with the baby on the way. But every time I considered it, I remembered the years of neglect, the lies, and the pain of his affair. I realized that staying together for the sake of the baby would only lead to more hurt in the long run. The divorce process was surprisingly amicable. Sean seemed genuinely remorseful and didn't contest anything. He agreed to a fair division of assets and even offered additional support for the baby. We worked out a co-parenting plan with the help of a mediator. It wasn't the future I had imagined, but it felt like the healthiest option for everyone involved. On the career front, I have some exciting news. Remember that job opportunity at the Museum of Modern Art that I turned down years ago? Well, I reached out to them on a whim, explaining my situation and asking if they had any openings. To my surprise, they remembered me and were impressed by my volunteer work at the local museum. They offered me a position as an assistant curator, starting 3 months after my due date. It's a dream come true, even if it's coming later than I had originally planned. The job is in New York, which means a big move. At first, I was hesitant about raising a baby in the city, but the more I thought about it, the more it felt right. It's a chance for a fresh start for both me and the baby. My sister Lisa has been an absolute angel through all of this. When I told her about the job offer and my concerns about managing in a new city with a newborn, she offered to move with me. She's a freelance graphic designer, so her work is portable. She'll be living with me for the first 6 months to help out with the baby. I'm incredibly grateful for her support. As for Sean, we've established clear boundaries. He'll have visitation rights and will be involved in major decisions regarding the baby, but our interaction will be limited to co-parenting. He was upset about the move at first, but eventually understood that this was a crucial opportunity for me. We've worked out a schedule for his visits to New York and regular video calls. Preparing for single motherhood has been challenging, but also empowering. I've been attending parenting classes and joining support groups for single moms. It's comforting to know I'm not alone in this journey. I've also been reading every parenting book I can get my hands on, determined to be the best mother I can be. One unexpected development, I've reconnected with an old friend, Mark, 34M, who lives in New York. We were close in college but lost touch over the years. When I posted about my upcoming move on social media, he reached out. We've been talking a lot, and he's been incredibly supportive. He's offered to help me get settled in the city and introduced me to his group of friends. There's a spark there, but I'm taking things very slowly. My priority right now is my baby and establishing my new life. As my due date approaches, I'm feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. It's not how I imagined starting a family, but I'm determined to make the best of it. I'm looking forward to meeting my little one and starting this new chapter of my life. Thank you all for your continued support. I'll update again after the baby is born. Update 3. Hello everyone. It's been 6 months since my last update, and what a whirlwind it has been. First things first, I'm now the proud mother of a beautiful baby girl, Lily. She was born healthy and strong, weighing 7 pounds 6 ounces. The labor was long and difficult, but the moment I held her in my arms, all the pain melted away. She has Sean's eyes and my curly hair, and she's the light of my life. The first few weeks were tough. Despite all my preparation, Nothing could have fully prepared me for the reality of caring for a newborn. The sleepless nights, the constant feedings, the worry over every little cough or cry, it was overwhelming. But with Lisa's help, I managed to get through it. Having her here has been a godsend. Sean flew in for Lily's birth and stayed for a week to help out. It was awkward at times, but we're learning to co-parent effectively. He visits once a month and we video call regularly so he can see Lily. It's not perfect, but we're making it work for Lily's sake. I've settled into my new job and new city. Balancing work and a newborn has been challenging, but my company has been incredibly supportive. They offer flexible hours and work-from-home options, which has been a lifesaver. I'm loving the work, curating exhibitions, researching artworks, collaborating with artists. It feels good to be using my degree and pursuing my passion again. Now, onto some surprising news. Remember Mark, the old friend I mentioned in my last update? Well, our friendship has blossomed into something more. We've been dating for 3 months now, and he's been absolutely wonderful. He adores Lily and has been incredibly patient with my situation. I was hesitant at first, given everything I've been through, but Mark has shown me that not all men are like Sean. Mark and I are taking things slow. He understands that Lily is my priority, and he's been respectful of my boundaries. We have date nights at home after Lily is asleep, and he's even learned how to change diapers and prepare bottles. Seeing him with Lily makes my heart melt, but I'm cautious about introducing him as a significant figure in her life until I'm sure about our future. My career is also taking off. I recently curated a small exhibition of emerging artists that received positive reviews in local art publications. There's talk of me leading a larger exhibition next year. It feels great to be recognized for my work after years of putting my career on hold. Life as a single mom isn't easy, but I'm managing. I've made friends with other moms in my neighborhood, and we have regular playdates. It's nice to have a support system of people who understand what I'm going through. Lisa has been amazing, but she's planning to move back home next month. I'm nervous about managing on my own, but also excited to prove to myself that I can do this. Sean is still involved in Lily's life, though it's been an adjustment for both of us. He calls every few days to check in and visits monthly. There have been some disagreements about parenting styles and schedules, but we're learning to communicate better for Lily's sake. Seeing him with Lily is bittersweet. I'm glad she has her father in her life, but it's a constant reminder of what we've lost. Financially, things are stable. The job at the museum pays well, and Sean has been consistent with child support. I'm even starting to put aside some savings for Lily's future. Looking back on the past year, I can hardly believe how much has changed. There were moments when I thought I'd never get through it, but here I am, stronger than ever. I have a beautiful daughter, a promising career, and a chance at love again. Some days are still hard. I miss the simplicity of my old life, the dream of a perfect family that I once had. But then I look at Lily, or walk through a gallery at work, or spend an evening laughing with Mark, and I know that this new life, complicated as it is beautiful in its own way. To anyone going through a similar situation, it gets better. It's not easy, and there will be tough days, but you're stronger than you know. Don't be afraid to lean on your support system and to put yourself first. You deserve happiness and love, even if it comes in a different package than you expected. Thank you all for being part of my journey. Your support and advice have been invaluable. This will be my final update. I'm closing this chapter of my life and looking forward to what the future holds. Whatever comes next, I know I can handle it.